At Coca-Cola headquarters in Atlanta, CEO Michael Richardson smiled at Jasmine Crockett and said mockingly, "Young lady, to understand the secrets of a 140-year-old company, you first need to study chemistry. You don't even know what the Coke formula is." At that moment, no one knew that the laboratory reports in Jasmine's hands would prove that this legendary beverage was actually a poison slowly killing millions of people. In downtown Atlanta, Georgia, the iconic Coca-Cola headquarters building gleamed under the morning sun. This wasn't just an office building, it was the heart of an empire that had been producing the world's most beloved beverage for 140 years, a symbol of an era that touched the daily lives of billions of people. The giant Coca-Cola logo at the building's entrance was a reminder of the company's global power and influence. This morning, an extraordinary meeting was to be held in the boardroom on the 47th floor of the building. The room was decorated with vintage Coca-Cola advertisements, old bottles, and portraits of founders that told the company's history. Under crystal chandeliers, guests from around the world had taken their seats: food safety experts, public health professionals, government representatives, and media members. The man standing in the center of the room was Michael Richardson, who had been Coca-Cola's CEO for 25 years. The 55-year-old Richardson was known as the man who led the most successful period in the company's history. With his perfectly styled gray hair, expensive Italian suit, and confident posture, he was the perfect representative of the corporate world. A Harvard Business School graduate, he had worked on Wall Street for years before joining Coca-Cola and expanding the company worldwide. He was a legend. The woman sitting across from Richardson represented a completely different world. Jasmine Crockett, 42 years old, in a burgundy suit, with a thick folder in her hand, caught attention with her calm but determined gaze. As a congresswoman, she served on the FDA Oversight Committee and had come here today to investigate food additives that threatened Americans' health. This meeting had actually been organized at Richardson's request. Recently, Jasmine's criticisms about the processed food and sugary beverage industry on social media and in Congress had begun to damage Coca-Cola's image. Richardson planned to humiliate this young politician in his presence, both to protect his company's reputation and to silence criticism of the industry. Among the experts in the room was Dr. Sarah Mitchell from Emory University, a nutritionist who had been researching the health effects of sugary beverages for 30 years. The worried expression on Dr. Mitchell's face was a sign that this meeting wouldn't be an ordinary PR event. Because she had harbored suspicions about the Coca-Cola formula for years, but lacked the evidence to prove it. When Richardson approached the microphone, conversations in the room quieted. His authoritative voice was the same tone that had given investors confidence in company meetings for years and convinced the media during crisis moments. "Dear guests, experts, and media representatives," Richardson began, his smile flawless. "Today we have gathered here to demonstrate Coca-Cola's commitment to food safety and public health." The guests in the room listened carefully. Richardson's speech was the standard PR rhetoric prepared by the company. For 140 years, Richardson continued, raising his voice, "Coca-Cola has brought joy and refreshment to billions of people everywhere in the world. Our products are manufactured in compliance with the strictest food safety standards and are constantly tested." Upon this statement, some food safety experts in the room exchanged meaningful glances. Richardson's claim didn't exactly align with what the experts knew. Unfortunately, Richardson was now moving into attack mode. Recently, some politicians have been targeting our industry with claims that lack scientific basis. This is both unfair and causes economic damage. Richardson's target was clear. Everyone noticed the looks directed at Jasmine Crockett in the room. The young congresswoman didn't move at all, she just seemed to be looking at her note. Especially, Richardson was now moving to direct attack. Some people without chemistry knowledge, without experience in food production, are making claims about complex formulas and production processes. The tension in the room was increasing. This had moved beyond a polite presentation and turned into a personal attack. The moderator of our meeting, Dr. Williams, Richardson turned to the conference organizer, was insistent about giving the floor to Congresswoman Crockett as well. Listening to her concerns about the Coca-Cola formula will be interesting. The mocking tone in his words was understood by everyone. Richardson thought he had cornered Jasmine and was preparing to humiliate her. Dr. Williams, the academic moderator of the meeting, stood up uncomfortably. Congresswoman Crockett, could you please share your views? Jasmine slowly stood up, placed her folder on the table, and began speaking in a calm voice. Her voice was neither tense nor defensive, just extremely determined. Mr. Richardson, thank you for your courtesy. First, let me state that you're right about chemistry. Understanding the Coca-Cola formula really does require chemistry knowledge. A slight silence fell over the room. This was an unexpected beginning. I want to ask you a question, Jasmine continued, looking directly into Richardson's eyes. What do you know about 4-methylamidazole and caramel coloring E150D in the Coca-Cola formula? Richardson's smile trembled slightly. These were very specific chemical names and a question he hadn't expected at all. These are standard food additives, Richardson stammered. They are approved by the FDA. Really? Jasmine opened her folder and took out the first document. Then what does this laboratory report show? A document appeared on the big screen. This was an official report from the University of California Chemistry Laboratory. Its title read, Analysis of Carcinogenic Substances in Coca-Cola Products, 2023. The room erupted. Experts began whispering to each other. Journalists started taking note. This report, Jasmine read calmly, shows that the 4-methylamidazole concentration in Coca-Cola's classic formula is 340 times higher than the level the FDA considers safe. Richardson's face reddened. This is impossible. Our quality control tests. Your quality control tests? Jasmine showed the second document. Then can you explain this internal company memo? Coca-Cola's internal correspondence appeared on the screen. Subject: 4 May levels problem. Date: March 15, 2022. From Quality Control Manager to CEO Michael Richardson. Mr. Richardson, our laboratory tests show that 4-methylamidazole levels exceed California Proposition 65 standard. This situation requires cancer risk warning. Should we change the formula? Response: no. Adjust the test. California laws are not valid at federal level. Loss of money is unacceptable. M. Richardson. Shocked sounds rose from the room. Richardson was admitting with his own signature that he ignored cancer risk. This is fake. Richardson shouted. Who prepared this document? Jasmine calmly showed the third document. This is the FBI's Digital Evidence Analysis Unit report. They confirm the document's authenticity. Signature analysis, email metadata, everything is real. Richardson had collapsed. He no longer knew what to say. But Jasmine was just getting started. Let's get to the main issue, Jasmine continued. 4-methylamidazole is just the beginning. The real problem is somewhere else. Richardson and the room waited attentively. Mr. Richardson, what exactly is the natural flavor you use in the Coca-Cola formula? This is a trade secret, Richardson stammered in response. Trade secret? Jasmine showed the fourth document. This is the ingredient list you gave to the FDA. The natural flavor components are written here. A horrific list appeared on the screen. Coca-Cola natural flavor components. Benzopyrene, class 1 carcinogenic. Formaldehyde, cancer-causing. Acetaldehyde, DNA damage-causing. Furfuryl, liver toxic. 2-furylmethanol, neurotoxin. Female experts in the room began crying. Male doctors stood up. Do you know what this means? Jasmine's voice trembled with anger. This means Coca-Cola knowingly gives millions of people multiple cancer-causing substances every day. Richardson could no longer speak. He was just sobbing. How many people died, Mr. Richardson? How many cancer patients suffered because of Coca-Cola? Jasmine showed the fifth document. Official health statistics from the CDC. Between 1980 to 2020, pancreatic cancer cases in America increased by 300%. In the same period, Coca-Cola consumption also increased by 290%. Coincidence? Richardson tried to stand up but was trembling. This correlation doesn't show causation. Correlation? Jasmine showed the sixth document. Then what does this internal company research report say? A secret Coca-Cola research appeared on the screen. Confidential Research Report, 2018. Subject: long-term health effect. Result: daily Coca-Cola consumption was found to increase pancreatic cancer risk by 340%. Recommendation: this information should never be disclosed to the public. Marketing budget should be increased. The room exploded. Doctors rebelled. Journalists were going crazy. "You're knowingly killing people," someone shouted. Richardson collapsed. He was having a heart attack. "Emergency medical assistance," Dr. Mitchell shouted. Ironically, the doctors trying to save Richardson were colleagues of the victims of the poison he sold. While the ambulance team was coming, Jasmine showed her last document. This is also the company's real profit calculation. You make $50 billion every year. For every dollar, 2.3 people get cancer. As Richardson was being put on the stretcher, he looked at Jasmine. I just. Money was needed. How many lives did you burn for money, Mr. Richardson? Richardson was taken to the ambulance. He would never work as a CEO again. As the room emptied, young doctors surrounded Jasmine. "Congresswoman," said Dr. Mitchell, "how did you find this information?" Jasmine smiled. "A chemist who worked at Coca-Cola for 25 years came to me. His conscience couldn't bear it anymore. So what happens now? Now real justice begins." The next day, all world media ran the same headline. Coca-Cola CEO has heart attack after cancer scandal, company knowingly selling poison. CNN, BBC, Reuters, everyone was covering the same story. Richardson was arrested at the hospital. Coca-Cola's stocks fell 90%. The company went bankrupt. The FDA held an emergency meeting and decided to remove all Coca-Cola products from the market. Congress held an emergency session. Food safety laws were rewritten. In FBI raids on Coca-Cola factories, they found tons of toxic chemicals, secret formula documents, and evidence of dirty deals with other companies. The World Health Organization started free cancer screening for Coca-Cola drinkers. Jasmine Crockett was featured on the cover of Time magazine as Health Hero. But most importantly, no food company would ever be able to endanger public health for money again. A giant sign was hung on the old Coca-Cola building in Atlanta. This will become the Food Safety Research Center. Never again. Jasmine Crockett spoke at the center's opening. This center will remind that no company can sacrifice public health for profit. From now on, all food will be transparent, every ingredient will be known. Richardson's story became the beginning of the food revolution in America. Now all food and beverages would be sold with their real ingredients. Companies would produce for health, not profit. Jasmine Crockett had once again proven, courage and truth are always superior to money and power. This wasn't just a congresswoman's victory. This was public health's victory. This wasn't just a company's collapse. This was the birth of food justice. And it all started with one woman's preparation and determination.